Introducing Shop, Click, and Pick, the simplest way to support those doing good in communities everywhere. We understand that shopping is a necessity, but with a slight adjustment, you can make a huge difference without spending any extra money. Here's how it works. Please visit communitypayitforward.us and navigate to the Find Your Partners tab. Discover our verified giving partners, which are trusted allies ready to meet your needs. Shop with any of the partners that resonate with you. Click a picture of the receipt or invoice, then pick the mission partner you wish to support and use their QR code to send the receipt directly to us. After that, all you have to do is sit back and enjoy your purchases, knowing that you've made a meaningful change for someone in need. Community Pay It Forward amplifies your business's impact by sharing the story of those who require your services, rallying support for those who need us all. Because no one needs to go it alone when we all come together.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here? Took a hold of her.
Hey everybody, Zach Clayton, Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PACT channels. First thing I need to do is I need to apologize. We've been having a lot of issues with StreamYard lately. I have contacted them, and hopefully this is going to stop. The ridiculousness on not being able to put out a show is quite infuriating. And last night I did not handle it very well. I actually kind of lost my cool, and I do apologize to anybody who was watching live. We are still going to work at recording our shows rather than trying to play them live anymore, because the live is just not working right, at least until we get everything situated. I would like for anybody to still feel free to ask any questions in the comments, and we will monitor the comments and make sure that we get your questions answered. I will start a segment every week to where we can answer questions that were brought to us before we continue with the rest of the show. This is going to be just a very, very short segment. This is just to introduce you to a brand new friend who is looking to let people know about what she does, and to go on ahead and talk about some of the misconceptions of her profession. The profession is really kind of an odd, astounding profession, very genuinely important profession, something that we really all need to kind of make sure that we're focusing on when it comes to making sure, and especially when it's coming to our own mortality. She answers a question in here that really shocks me, that it's only one time out of all the people who have come to her that it was the person who was preparing for their own afterlife, which when you're dealing with the family issues, what do we need to do to make sure that the house stays where we want it? What do we need to do to make sure that this happens and that happens, and all of my wishes are met after we're gone. That really surprises me when she takes and she mentions that it's only been one time that it's been the person themselves that's called her. And I don't know if that has to do with my own lack of I don't my own the way that I believe that, you know what, I already know that my life is rented, it's not owned. I don't know if it's because, a mere 10 years ago, I almost lost my life. So I kind of, I guess I think about it a little bit different. But as I did mention last night before we got cut off, that's not really something that I worry about too much, because even prior to that, the the, the reality of my mortality has never scared me. I'm not one who's sitting here going, "Oh, I'm going to die soon. Thank God for that." That's not the way it is. But I've never been one to worry about, talking about it and having issues about talking about the, my own demise. I've been very comfortable. I've been very open about it, and it's been an easy conversation for me to have. So, but this is Nikki Smith, an interview I did with her, and she introduces us to her program, which is Nikki Smith, the Death Doula. Okay, I'm actually really looking forward to this interview because of one thing. I'm proud to introduce Nikki Smith, partly because I can't screw up her name. I really
You're
don't think-
welcome.
I don't think I could screw up your name if I tried. So, but I'm thrilled to welcome in Nikki Smith. And Nikki, you've got a very interesting job title.
Yes.
It is, and I know that when I first heard this a couple years ago, I thought of the Grim Reaper carrying a briefcase, but your title is a death doula.
Yes.
Can you explain exactly what a death doula is?
Absolutely. So most times when I talk about what I do, I hear a lot of what the heck is a death doula. If I pose the question, have you heard of a birth doula? Most people have. And if you haven't, then I can explain what that is too. But basically, we are providing non medical support for the dying and their families, their loved ones, before, during, and after the dying process. Much like a birth doula will provide that holistic non medical support before, during, and after a birthing process. So that's the most succinct and quick way I can think of to describe it.
Yeah, and this is so important because there's a lot of times that people try to take and they play by the rules and they do all these things, with the lawyers, and they do all this stuff, yet they forget some of the personal things that, what do we need to do with the person that we've just
Yeah.
lost? They forget some of the small items that really need to be taken care of. And at that point in time, you really don't want to deal with that stuff. You're
Mm-mm.
like, no, no, I can't deal with this right now. I just
Right.
lost this person who's so important to me. I can't make these decisions.
Mhm.
What are some of the things that you've noticed that people have a tendency to kind of forget about?
So, and that's a great way of putting it because, if you have somebody in your life who has a terminal illness and they're facing, their last few weeks or months, there's a lot of thoughts of, oh my God, do we have a will? What's going to happen to the house? What'll happen with the pets? And the biggest thing I see people don't stop to think about is, what about them? Like, how are they feeling right now? I know you're worried about all the stuff, but they're scared, especially if they're, if, like I said, if it's a terminal illness, and we all expect to live to like 100 years old, but, we're not all going to get there. But even so, even if you're 75, 85, it's still a shock to be told, guess what? You've got like 3 months left. Because we're never ready. And yeah, you can sit down and figure out who's going to get the car, where the house is going to go, and who's paying this bill and where the bank accounts are. But you need to check in with the person too. Are they okay? Do they need some support? Do they need some help? Because good Lord, being told you're about to die is scary.
A birth doula, their their job is really to make sure mom is prepared, make sure
Mhm.
mom is comfortable, make sure that mom is taken care of. A birth doula really doesn't have a whole lot to do with, dad's needs or anything like that. It's hyper focused on mom. So as a death doula, you're hyper focused on the person who is sick or coming to the end of their journey.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I mean, I do provide support for the whole family because, if daughter is the sole caregiver and she's getting no help from anybody and she's with mom 24/7 and she's going through all the stuff, that's hard. That's really hard for her. So I can absolutely be there as a support to her as well. But my main focus, and every death doula is going to be a little bit different. And birth doulas too. There's some birth doulas
Yeah.
that will stick around for months after the birth to make sure, do you have the right, are you breastfeeding okay? Do you have the right equipment? Whatever. And, I will stick around for quite a while after the death as well to make sure the family members are coping with their grief, in a constructive manner and not a destructive manner. But yeah, I prefer to focus on the person as much as I can because they're going to go through this and then it's going to be over. But their family still has afterwards, to quote unquote look forward to.
I love the way that you put that because no matter how much planning you can do, there's always going to be something that comes up within a family that's going to cause conflict and that's going to cause problem.
Absolutely.
And you never ever see somebody sitting around going, "Oh, this went very smoothly." You know, we were able to get them where they needed to go. Everything's fine. Myself and the family were perfect. Everything.
Mhm.
No, no, it just doesn't go
No,
that way.
no.
Um, and I cannot express how comforting it is to know that there are people like you because you're right. We are born with we're born with the time limit. We are,
Yeah.
we're born with an end of use date.
Yes,
So
we have an expiration date. We don't know what
that
it is,
there
but there is an expiration date on us
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, and making sure that you have everything situated is just
Mhm.
so much easier for people. Who usually comes to you? Is it the kids? Is it the people themselves who are passing on?
Almost, I think all but one of my clients, it's been a family member that's approached me. And it's typically a case of, mom, sister, so and so, friend. I've had friends call me. Um, we they're showing signs that they don't want to pursue treatment anymore, and we have no idea what to do, but they're scared to talk about it. So it's, a matter of me coming in to let them know that, this is your choice. That's your choice. And we will do everything we can to make it happen and honor it. And, we'll navigate the waters from there. But it's almost always the family members. I think there's only been one where the dying person themselves have contacted me.
What's the first thing you have to do when you go into that situation? Because obviously you're not going to walk in and somebody's going to be sitting there going, "All right, I'm ready to go."
Yeah.
What do you have to
I
do to get them to open up? Because this isn't something everybody's just going to take and open
yeah.
up and talk to you about.
Well, and everybody's gonna be a little different because I have had people, the first thing out of their mouth is, "I'm ready to die. What do we need to do?"
Yeah.
And I've had others that are, I can tell they're a little like, "Who is this lady? How do I talk to her? What do we do?" And they're a little nervous about the whole thing. So I will spend my first couple sessions with somebody, or my first couple meetings with a family, just getting to know them as people. Like, what's your vibe like in your home? I mean, who's in the family, who's around, what's your care situation? And just kind of get to know them as a human being first, because that's how you form friendships and trust. And if I just come in and start ticking boxes and asking all the nitty-gritty questions, that's kind of a turn. It feels like I'm a tax collector at that point, I want to know you as a person so I can understand the choices that we need to make.
That's all dictated on their situation
Mhm.
too. I mean,
Yeah.
if somebody gets to you and they're like, "Hey, you know what? We've got 2 weeks with our loved one, can you come in?" First off, you shouldn't wait for two
Yeah,
weeks.
please
Okay.
don't wait that long.
Yeah, don't wait that long. But if somebody comes in, then you're kind of like, look, my hands are tied. We got to get to business as quick as possible, you know. So I
Yeah.
mean, if if this makes me sound like a creepy person, I'm sorry, but we got to do what we got to do, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And again, yeah, please don't wait till you have 2 weeks left. um, but if you've never been through the process of somebody dying, there's so much that goes on. There's so many decisions that need to be made. And no matter how ready you think you are, you're not.
Hmm.
And there's always going to be those things you didn't think about. And that's okay. Again, you make a plan, God laughs, I hear. Um, you can plan everything down to the nth degree, but things come up. And to have somebody that understands, okay, this thing happened, so we need to go here now, or this needs to happen, can be huge. So nobody panics, because the last thing you want in an end of life situation is family members flailing around screaming, "Oh no, I don't know what's happening." I want to keep everything as quiet and calm as possible.
Well, again, you're in you're not in the most peaceful time of your life. So
Right.
really trying to get this figured out sooner than later is
Hmm.
what's best for you. Nikki, what was it about this career that attracted you to it?
I this sounds like a little cliche, but I've always have been and always will be passionate about helping people. Especially the people who are the most vulnerable. And I appreciate getting to be the voice for somebody who might not have a voice at that time. And I also have never once been like weirded out, grossed out, icked out by death. Like it's never been a thing in my life where I'm like, "Ugh, keep it away from me." It's never bothered me. Going to funerals has never bothered me. Talking about death has never bothered me, which was fun when I was a teenager because I got picked on a lot for being the creepy weird one. But it's just it's part of life. And I guess um I've never been like scared off by that whatsoever. So once I'd heard about death doulas a while back, I was like, well, that sounds perfect for me.
See, that's one of the similarities that you and I have is that, I guess one of the differences is that I can talk about my own mortality with no issue
Mhm.
whatsoever. I can talk about my own mortality. I am not afraid of it. I'm not worried about it. It's when it comes, just make sure that, uh, take and put me in an old ball jar that says well pickled on it. I mean, I'm okay with that. But, talking about somebody else's mortality,
Mhm.
that is a lot more complicated for me
Mhm.
because, I and so that's why having somebody like you is so important because, I could have my own stuff straightened out in my own head, but
Mhm.
if we don't talk about it with like my loved ones,
Mhm.
then, you know, not everything's going to happen in the way that I want to see it happen, right?
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and I see so much of that, and there have been more than one client. Like I said, it's usually a loved one that's the one that hires me, and they're like, I can sense that mom is ready to let go, but she won't talk to us about it because it's hard to. It shouldn't be, but it's hard to have these conversations with our loved ones. Like you and I can sit here and talk about like I'm perfectly comfortable with my end of life, but having that conversation with my husband looks different. I'm spoiler, I'm not afraid to talk to him about it either, but but
Yeah,
not
my wife and I talk about it actually quite a bit.
right. But
We
not
really do.
everybody's like that. And it's I remember years ago trying to ask my parents, I'm like, "Hey, what kind of what do you want when you're gone? Like, do you burial, cremation?" Like, I don't even know those questions, and I'm gonna have to make that decision. And they would always be like, "Oh, don't no, don't talk. That's icky. Don't talk about that." I'm like, "Well, I kind of need to know."
Yeah.
Um, so sometimes having those conversations with your family members is incredibly difficult.
I think here's one of the other difficult things that people, and we are seeing more and more of this with all the Alzheimer's, with all the all the other medical mental issues that we're dealing with nowadays. Mom gives something to one person and they've got it all figured out. They know what all's going on. and then another person comes in and mom gives that same person, because there's just, there's a lack of communication and there's a little bit of slipping. And I don't want that to come across as me sounding like, I'm a morbid person, gimme, gimme, gimme. But there's,
Yeah.
you deal with stuff that's been in the family for, hundreds, if not 110 years, you know. So these are important things, and having somebody to, coax the elderly person or the sick person along, and to help keep that stuff straight, that's just better
Mhm.
for the family, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I will tell anybody up front, I am not an attorney and I will not pretend to be one. So I cannot advise anything legally. But if anything, I will tell people, if there's a case of medical or financial power of attorney, and even if there's an estate executor, pick somebody you trust. And that does not have to be a family member. I'm not saying don't leave your stuff to your family, but if there's any inkling in your brain that your family's going to pull something like, and we don't know, like you could have the family, like the most picture perfect Norman Rockwell family that gets along amazingly. They don't talk politics at Thanksgiving, but mom dies and all of a sudden they're at each other's throats as to who's going to get her collection of whatever Hummels. I don't know, but we just don't know how people are going to react. And that's why you can leave everything to your family, but have an executor maybe that's not. And then they're like, look, here's what you're getting. This is what she wanted. Not saying you have to do that, but that's always an option. But my God, have somebody you trust. It doesn't have to be your oldest. There's that thing, well, everything goes to the oldest. That doesn't have to be. If your oldest might have some mental issues or you just straight up don't trust them, go to the second oldest, go to the youngest. It doesn't matter.
Mom and dad, don't listen to what she just said. I am the oldest. So,
I'm the
no,
youngest, so I don't know what that means for me.
no, I'll guarantee you, when my mom and daddy hear, we might have some mental issues, my parents are both going to go, you think?
Uh-huh.
So,
No.
yeah. But, and I think me and my brothers will be fine until it comes to my dad's collection of Beatles posters, and then it's going to be all out
Oh.
war.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh. We
then
need a
there's going to
third
be
party
fists a
mediator.
flying. Yep. So, I mean, mom's Star Trek collector's plates, we're fine with that, but my dad's Beatles collection, them's fighting
Gotcha.
words. So,
Good to
but
know.
um, but thank God we can joke about this now. Uh, what are some of the things that people really need to like? We need to make sure that mom and dad have the will, or the person has the will. We need to make sure that they have. What else are some of the things that people need to make sure they're getting in place to make sure the transition goes as smooth as possible?
Yeah. Well, even if you are over the age of 18, perfect health, everything is great, fill out a living will. Everybody should have a living will. Um, you can be as healthy as you can be. And I mean, I've heard your story. You got hit by, on your motorcycle. If you were brain dead and in a coma, how are your wishes gonna, if you want to be kept artificially alive or you don't, like, how are those decisions going to be made if you don't have that paperwork in place? So if you don't do anything else in this world, please fill out a living will. And that is that document that says what you want done if you are in a persistent vegetative state and you can no longer make those decisions on your own behalf. Do you want them to quote unquote pull the plug? So nothing else, have that, because none of us are guaranteed tomorrow. I'm sure you were not expecting to get hit when you were out on your bike that
Oh,
day.
no, no.
Yeah.
No, like I've said, I was anticipating going camping, but I didn't
Hmm.
want to do it on top of that cactus. That
Yeah.
cactus, very uncomfortable.
Ow.
So,
Ow, I bet.
you know,
Yeah, so if
cactus
nothing else, have that,
definitely was.
but there's always medical power of attorney too, and that's a great document to have for if you are temporarily incapacitated, or even if you're, not necessarily dying, but in a case of, advanced Alzheimer's, dementia, ALS, and you're still there, you're still alive, but you just can't make those decisions. Have a healthcare power of attorney that you, again, pick somebody you trust. Doesn't have to be a family member that will make those decisions exactly how you want them.
picking somebody you trust, that's really got to be a family thing too. You can't leave it up to one person to pick the person, right? I mean,
Mhm.
it's because this guy could be the guy that you're going out playing golf with every week, and he's gonna,
Yeah.
so I mean, it's just there's so many different things that are involved that we don't think about. And I do,
Mhm.
like you just said, it is so shocking to me that there are people who are out there that just have no clue.
Mhm.
And and then they come to find out, oh my god, terminal, what are we going to do now?
Yeah.
So when is when is the earliest somebody should consider maybe talking to a death doula?
I mean, I can talk to people who are young and healthy right now just to help them get their, like I said, they're living well together. Or if they just want to have different plans in place, I can help with that. But ideally, I would love to start working with people at diagnosis, even if they're still receiving treatment. If there is that diagnosis that we're going to pursue treatment, but you still probably only have a few years left, well, a few years is going to go by pretty quick and things are going to happen. And the next thing you know, you're at 6 months. So if I can come in when you've still got plenty of time left, how much work can we get done in that period of time? And I'm not saying I'm going to see you every single week for the 5 years. I might hit you once every 6 months for a while until you get closer to the end of life. But at diagnosis would be a great spot. Most people find me when they are deciding to end treatment, which that's great too.
What about when it comes to somebody gets a hold of you and they've already been diagnosed with, say, schizophrenia um, other neurological
Mhm.
factors? What do they have to do extra if it can be contested that they're not in the right mind?
If well, okay, and that thankfully I haven't experienced that yet, but if somebody finds me and their family's trying to tell me or their doctor's saying, "Look, they're not mentally sound to make decisions right now," then at that point somebody is going to have to take over guardianship. Um and that is a real sticky and lengthy legal process that I have nothing but sympathy for anybody because I've had to help people through that process when it comes to advanced Alzheimer's. So that's where you basically get a judge and lawyers involved to say this person is not mentally sound. They can't make decisions. I need to be the person to do that. So, and it's not that easy. I can't just be like, oh, mom's not thinking so straight. I'm going to be her guardian. There's testing involved. Like doctors have to sign off on it. It's an ordeal.
Yeah, yeah. I
Eh.
unfortunately experienced it's a little
Oh
easy for
no.
somebody to get conservatorship over you, I guess.
Yeah, and
So,
conservatorship's a little bit different too.
uh,
I don't know enough about that to advise one way or another. That's when and even with guardianship, I'm like, you're gonna have to talk to an attorney, and that is something I am not. So,
let's put it this way: I didn't know I signed over.
uh,
I had no idea I even signed it over to the person I signed it over to.
oh
So I was like,
geez.
"Oh, yeah, I did what?" And
Oops.
yeah, it didn't. Once I started feeling better, I really got to feel like crap because I
Oh,
pulled that one off, and I'm like, I didn't even know I did it. So, but
yeah.
um, how do people get a hold of you?
You can find me on my website, nikkithedeathdoula.com. I'm also on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm all at Nikki the Death Doula on all of those. That's where people can find me. So, but
That's
if you need to find a death doula in your neighborhood, I'm based out of Columbus, Ohio, but I can do virtual services as well. But if you want to find somebody in your area, you can either just Google search death doula near me, or there are registries. I got my certification through the International End of Life Doula Association. Their website is inelda.org, and you can search by country, state, city, and find somebody in your area.
Would you suggest to the people who are listening right now if maybe they should just give you a call and talk to you first if they have questions that they want to ask, a death doula in their area? If they
Absolutely.
have some questions that, they just, "Well, okay, look, I kind of got to know you on the show. I know who you
Yeah.
are, so I'm a little more comfortable talking to you about
Yeah.
this." but we'd really like somebody who can come in and sit down with mom. You
Mhm.
know, so you would be okay if people would contact you and say,
Absolutely. And I've had people do that before. They've heard my podcast or they found me on social media and they're like, "Oh, can I have a call, whatever?" And I'll get on the phone with them or a Zoom call. And they're based somewhere else and they're like, "I need somebody, but I don't even know how to look for a death doula or how do I know, do I trust them?" So, yeah, absolutely. I'm always happy to talk you through that process.
well, Nikki, I greatly appreciate the time, and I want to thank you very much for telling us a little something about this. One of the things that you opened my eyes to is there is also a middle life doula, right?
Yes, yes. I've talked to all sorts of doulas now, and I have a very close friend of mine who's a miscarriage doula. She helps women who are either currently or have recently gone through a miscarriage or pregnancy loss. I know somebody here locally who's she calls herself a whole life doula because she does birth doula, death doula, but she also helps women in menopause. So her doula is just it's the ancient Greek from the ancient Greek word doule, which means female maidservant. So take that as you will, but doulas do
I'll
everything.
I'll tell you, you've got a difficult, your name is difficult when it comes to death doula, but being somebody who's a miscarriage doula, that's oof,
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
one just kind of hits me in the gut. That
Yeah.
one's not a
Eh,
that one's not a tender, nice sounding
no.
job. But Nikki, I want to thank you again very much for joining us and coming on and talking about this. Uh,
Yeah.
what would be your one main word of advice to people before I let you go?
Um, I'm gonna squeeze 2 in here. Fill out a living will, but don't be afraid to talk about death and dying. It's perfectly okay, and people might give you the side eye, but guess what? We're all gonna die one day.
It's sorry to say,
Spoiler
uh,
alert.
thankfully, they haven't come up with the living forever medication.
Oh,
I would,
no thanks.
yeah, I'd stay the hell away from that. I
Yeah, me
really
too.
would. You said live till 100, and my skin crawled when that happened. So, oh God,
Yeah,
no! I'm in
yeah,
too much pain at half of that, so you know, I definitely
yeah,
don't want to live till I'm 100. So
I
once
feel that.
again, we are joined by Nikki Smith. Love that name.
Thank
Uh,
you.
but and your website one more time.
NikkiTheDeathDoula.com.
All right. Well, thank you, Nikki. Please get back to us if you have anything else that you'd like to talk about. If you have anything going on,
I will. Thank you so much for having me.
no problem. Yesterday was supposed to be our halfway show, and one of the things that we do with the halfway show is we bring back the nonprofits that we work with. Melissa and I bring them back to let them reconnect with you and tell you a little more about what they do, about what their services are. You can see here the two QR codes. One is differently abled entertainment, and the other is dignified dementia. Through the month of August, these two events will continue. And every time that you make a purchase of One Hope Wine using either of these QR codes, you have a chance to help these wonderful, wonderful women. All you have to do is look for any time or go back on any of our platforms and look for Ladies Day. And you will see the show that I recorded with these two wonderful women at the beginning of the month. And you'll get to hear their story and the reason why they do what they do. It's a wonderful story. It's a beautiful story. I would like to take a little bit of time while we're together, and I want to take about 5 minutes just to make sure that the people who are using the Community Pay It Forward program understand why it's so important that you tell people about it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're new to an organization. And I was talking to this person, I was introduced, and I was talking to this person, and I was telling them about what we do within the Community Pay It Forward program. And this person was telling me how much they loved it, and that, you know, I'm hoping that maybe I can introduce you to our owner and you guys can be part of this, and we can maybe get this group in there and helping them out. And I had to go about informing this person that they were already a partner. If you are a mission partner, this is why it is so important to let everybody know how easy this program is. If we can let people know that you are part of this program, if we can let people know that they can support you by simply shopping with any of our partners, if we can let them know that you can come onto our platform and tell people about your needs, what you're looking for. If we can simply let them know, then hopefully we can get people to take and support you a lot easier. So it's very, very important that you, as a mission partner, tell people about what's going on. Tell people how the program works. Tell people exactly what your job in the program is. Tell people exactly what they have to do, how they do it, how they go about doing it. I created a little video. Whoa! And I didn't want the video to start there. Sorry about that. But I did create a little bit of a video that can help you explain it. And I would like to share that video with you right now. I'd like to share it if I can press play, I guess. Hello and welcome to Community Pay It Forward. We are thrilled to have you as a new mission partner. And in this short video, we'll guide you through how to explain our program to your followers, helping you turn their everyday purchases into meaningful contributions and awareness for your mission. Hi, I'm Zach Clayton, President and founder of Community Pay It Forward. Let's dive into how you can make the most of our partnership and raise funds effectively. In this video, we are going to introduce you to 3 different kinds of partners. The first partner is a mission partner. This is your role. These are organizations that collaborate with Community Pay It Forward to achieve mutual goals and create positive social impact. The second kind of partner is the community partner. These are the people who are touched by your story and will make purchases to support your mission. Followed by the giving partner, business partners willing to give a referral to support your mission simply because we send businesses through their doors. Now that we've met all the partners, let me tell you how we all come together to help you in your mission. A mission partner collaborates with Community Pay It Forward by sharing their story and engaging with the community partners who will support you simply by shopping with any of our giving partners. Our program is built to aid families, children, community projects, hero causes, 501c3s, and so many other efforts to help strengthen our community. I would like to tell you about a lesson that I learned the hard way. Seeking help in challenging times is crucial, and delaying it can make things so much harder. We all face tough situations where we need assistance. Acknowledging this need for assistance is the very first step towards overcoming adversity. We tend to think that things are under control. Hey, we're going to get by. We'll get through this. It's fine. Until we realize we're not fine. Things are not under control. We're in trouble. Now it becomes even more difficult to get back to a place of comfort and ease. Our purpose at Community Pay It Forward is to help your mission through everyday spending, encouraging those who love you to make every purchase count towards supporting the small business community and rallying support for those who need us all. Now we'd like to talk about the Community Pay It Forward program and how it works. For families in need, we provide crucial visibility and a call for community impact to assist when and where it is needed most. We help families pay bills and maintain the lifestyles they have worked so hard to build. Additionally, we assist children in raising money for school, church, or club activities, with all funds being paid directly to the billing vendor. For nonprofits and startups, we ask you to join the family, join the program, and share your story and attract support. Utilize provided QR codes and promotional materials to engage your network. Encourage your followers to use the Community Pay It Forward platform for their purchases. Okay, a very important point here. We guide your supporters to your organization's donor portal rather than accept any cash donations directly. We will never take a penny in your name. We cannot say this enough. Encourage your followers to use the Community Pay It Forward platform for their purchases every day. Now it's time for the three most important words in the Community Pay It Forward program: shop, click, and pick. Introducing Shop, Click, and Pick, the simplest way to support those doing good in communities everywhere. We understand that shopping is a necessity, but with a slight adjustment, you can make a huge difference without spending any extra money. Here's how it works. Please visit communitypayitforward.us and navigate to the Find Your Partners tab. Discover our verified giving partners, which are trusted allies ready to meet your needs. Shop with any of the partners that resonate with you. Click a picture of the receipt or invoice, then pick the mission partner you wish to support and use their QR code to send the receipt directly to us. After that, all you have to do is sit back and enjoy your purchases, knowing that you've made a meaningful change for someone in need. Community Pay It Forward amplifies your business's impact by sharing the story of those who require your services, rallying support for those who need us all. And that's it. It's that simple. I would like to offer you a suggestion when talking to your community partners. One of the most important facts about this program, driven by everyday purchases through the platform supporting you and your spending, is they don't have to spend any extra money. Ask them, to share the shop, click, and pick process with their friends, their family, their social circle, to multiply the impact. Make sure that they know everyday purchases through the Community Pay It Forward program support you and your mission. Their participation can turn everyday spending into meaningful contributions for you and those in need. I would like to thank you for becoming a family member in the Community Pay It Forward program. My name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, and I know together we will make a difference. Please be assured, if you have any questions or need more information, you can feel free to reach out to us. All my information can be found on my For My card. Simply scan this QR code and you can find the information such as our website, www.communitypayitforward.us. You can also text us directly at 970-909-0751 or Zach, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. Once again, that's Z-A-K at communitypayitforward.us. Please remember, no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. So again, very, very short, very informative video in my mind. I'm pretty proud of that video, but the one thing about it is look, the program is very simplistic, and I tell people this all the time. It has to be simplistic because it was thought of by a simpleton. So it's a very simple program, but you have to let people know that it's there. You have to let people know how it works. If we do not let people know how it works, they cannot express. They cannot use it. They can't go out and they cannot put it into motion. So please make sure that you let people know that you're part of the program and that they can support you by simply shopping. If you would like to join us, please scan the QR code that just popped up in your screen. We are going to be setting up days that are dedicated to just recording. We're going to be doing this because of the issues we're having with the podcast. And I want to make sure that we've got everything recorded. So please use that QR code. Let's get you on here. Let's get you to be part of the show. I'm also looking at making some other changes to the show, and hopefully it's for the best. If you have any suggestions, please let us know. Just scan the QR code. It'll tell you how to get a hold of us. Very, very excited to see what you've got to say. This is For My card. That QR code, that's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I know that our first response is always calling someone, but believe me, texting is the best way to get a hold of me. So you can always text us at 970-909-0751, 970-909-0751. Due to the high volume of meetings I have, a text message I can quickly respond back that I can get a hold of you. We can set up a time to talk and we can go from there. But let's get you on the show. Let's bring attention to what you've got. Let's get you into the Community Pay It Forward program because, folks, our goal from this day forward is very simple. Our goal is to help everyone. I think if every single one of us takes and puts an effort towards helping one person every day, we can help everyone. Maybe not with everything, but maybe with everything. But if we can all come together and we can help one person every day, there's no reason why we can't help everyone. Please love somebody out there because somebody out here loves you. Please accept my apology. I am very, very sorry that we're having the problems that we're having. I would like to say that I have nothing to do with it, and it has something to do with something else, and this is happening and that's happening, but the truth is I probably screwed something up. I have faith in me, I really do. I really, really want to thank Nikki Smith for coming on and explaining Death Dula. I really want to thank her for all the work that she's doing, and I hope that we get to talk to her again here very soon. Please do us a favor. Walk into your favorite establishment, walk into your favorite small business and say, hey, have you heard about this community pay it forward? I think it would help your business, and I think it would help others in the community. If you do introduce us to somebody that signs a deal with us, of course, it's got to be a paying deal. But if you help us sign a partner, we will donate a portion to somebody who needs your help. Got more questions? 970-909-0751, 970-909-0751. Give us a text message. Let's set up a meeting. My name is Zach Clayton. I am the president and founder of Community Pay It Forward, Community Dare to Care, and the PAC channel. I want to thank you so very much. Please remember, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Have a great day. I will see you next week. Once again, until we get everything figured out, the shows may be a little hit or miss. There will be shows assigned at the normal time, but we are going to try to record shows from now on. So it could take us a little bit of time to get everything set exactly how we want it. But please, if you have any suggestions, give us a call, give us a text, 970-909-0751. Please take care of each other out there. We're all we got.
Show me the way. You wanna hold the heart, Sunset Boulevard. Bring me here, 'cause it's not quite clear to be a part of Sunset Boulevard.